So difficult. Excuse me, Niles, but I've got news for you. Copernicus called, and you are not the center of the universe.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
When I was a kid, La Crosse, Wisconsin movie theater, the Rivoli Theater, re-showed Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the classic 1938 cartoon, and my mom took me to see it on her day off. I was enchanted by it. I loved it. Had so many questions afterwards. And Disney decides they're going to remake it live. And they do it all wrong. And it's a box office flop. So let's ask why. It starts out with the DEI people and the politically correct idiots deciding they're going to completely change the script from what it was, which is based on a German fairy tale. Snow White, skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, to a DEI wonderland of shit. We get a Latina actress. I'm not pissed off, but if you're going to do that, get one that doesn't piss everybody off. To a dwarf controversy because it couldn't be bothered to originally hire 7 little people to play 7 little people, period. And the reshoots. People don't realize how much reshoots are after the movie's been wrapped. You have to bring the crew back. You have to bring the cast back. You have to bring everybody back to redo the movie's messes to make them right again. Reshoots are also PR poison, okay? The moment you start hearing about reshoots is the moment I think everybody in the audience cringes, right? Let's talk about the previous. Snow White made $3.4 million in Thursday previews. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, according to Grok, made $7.2 million in Thursday previews. We have a problem with Snow White, the live-action version. I don't think we needed a live version. We needed, and if they were going to do it, they do it right. But instead, they went DEI nightmare. Now, I am going to tell you guys, okay, that there's been woke stuff in the pipeline that they're going to put out there. So Star Wars fans, get ready for Andor. All right? There'll be woke shit in that. Okay? And actually, the teaser, the trailers just look, oh my God. And of course, the first script, the script that was originally shot, was woke. It did not include the romance. The prince wasn't a factor, and which goes against the original story completely, because the love story was everything in the fairy tale and in the original movie. But when you've got your lead actress spewing misandrist hatred towards men, which is a terrible message for girls and boys. Want to know why young men are turning to Andrew Tate? Rachel Zegler's, Taylor Swift's, girls who listen to those insipid bimbos. Okay, I have more to say.
What an
odd combination of odors. Smells like a fish died and all the other fish sent flowers.
So the reshoots happened in 2024 after the movie wrapped, 2023, because controversies such as using 7 magical people instead of the 7, quote, dwarves, quote. Because the people creating Snow White, A, didn't want to follow the fairy tale. B, while they hired a Latina actress to play a character whose skin is as white as snow, lips as red as blood, German fairy tale, they couldn't be bothered. Okay, they wanted to be inclusive. And I'm sure there was an LGBTQ plot to this too, all right? So the 7 magical people that picture came out. People lost their shit, including this guy, Peter Dinklage. Dinklage is famous for his role in Game of Thrones and bashed Disney for not hiring 7 little people to play 7 little people, but also for showing the little people living in a cave. That's the fairy tale, is they lived in a cottage in the woods, right? Okay. And he basically, I think he was mostly angry that Rachel Zegler was cast as Snow White, which is profoundly asinine, but not one little person was cast to be a dwarf. When they were called out for it, Disney CGI'd little people, which is, from what I gather, is far more expensive than paying actors. So it's like, and reshoots, let me explain, cost a lot of money. So the $274 billion is not the budget that they ended up with. They couldn't be hired Peter Dinklage. This guy, the comedian Brad Williams, who's fucking hilarious. If you see any of his shorts, he's hysterically funny. He really, really is. Or, I think the most famous little person out there, Warwick Davis, as we know, is Wicket from Star Wars, and Willow. Why couldn't they be in the movie? Why CGI? And of course, then we have the mouth that roared, and this is a great representation of her, Rachel Zegler. I know a lot of my friends like her, but I look at it as, that's like me liking Charlize Theron. I hate Charlize Theron's guts. I think Cynthia Nixon is insane and should have her children taken away from her. Okay, and Charlize Theron the same way. Megan Fox the same way. This woman degraded the classic film. She attacked global politics, which she knows no actor should say a word about shit they don't know. I'm talking about Mark Hamill, Charlize Theron, etc. Thereby insulting the woman who played the antagonist, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, okay? Who, was lambasted by certain groups. How dare an Israeli woman play Wonder Woman? Well, would you feel better if she was a tall, blonde Norwegian chick? So what? She's transparent? I am so sick of this shit, I can't. Okay, the rumors were Gal Gadot got pissed off, went to Bob Iger, and Rachel Zegler shut her mouth. Not before Zegler abused the classic cartoon, calling it misogynist. The show being reported as completely rewriting the fairy tale to remove the love story, basically remove the prince, I think. The apple is gone, the poison apple. And we still didn't have Someday My Prince Will Come, because how dare a Snow White need a man to kiss her to save her. How dare that? How dare something natural and normal for humanity be represented in this movie, according to the idiots who made it and the lead actress who spewed forth tons of garbage. The misandry represented not only in what she said, but what the reports were coming out after the movie first wrapped, before the reshoots, were astounding to me. Absolutely astounding. Okay, Jon Favreau did not really change anything in The Lion King live action. Okay, and it did really well. Every time someone goes to remake something, which is, you don't need to do it. If you don't have any, if the studios don't have any creative confidence in something new, then they need to just fold up and close down, okay? Creativity is what pushes art forward. The ultimate art genre is filmmaking because it contains everything. And the fact that they had to literally make Snow White for a bunch of miserable young women and miserable cat ladies screaming, "We don't need no men's," vagina hat wearing bitches, and now that it's flopping, tells you everything. I mean, again, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny makes 7.2 million in Thursday previews. Snow White made 3.4 million. And it was projected to make 45 million, which is not good. And it flopped even harder at 43 million this weekend. The world has changed. This is for Rachel Zegler and even the people that know it that still defend her. All right? Disney did not have any control over her. And when Iger finally had to put his foot down and tell her to shut the fuck up, and her agents had to, it was too late. Because, look, YouTube and X have changed the way news goes. And the narrative is not the mainstream media's anymore. The narrative is people doing their own research and telling everybody else what is really going on. Okay? And this is why the Democrats lost so hard and are poised to lose harder. Okay? This is why. And I'm not saying that to gloat. I don't want to gloat. All right? It's literally what happened to Snow White. All right? And there's nothing Disney could do after the mouth was launched to stop this from happening. Okay? Now, Disney got rid of Reimagining Tomorrow and DEI initiatives. They still are supporters of the Human Rights Campaign, but as someone who kind of knows what that is about, that bullshit has been around for decades. And as far as I'm concerned, it's just something that we're going to have to bite the bullet on until investors get sick of this shit and just say, well, no more support for it. Okay. That's the only reason, that's the only way that can happen. Okay. But Disney, at least the executives, understand there's been a change. And the change was brewing when Snow White was being filmed. Okay? And, the damage that Snow White did to itself was self-inflicted. Not only by Disney not taking control of the woke filmmakers saying, 7 magical people, where's the prince, where's the love story? All right? That's where it started. So this is self-inflicted on one end by Disney and self-inflicted by Rachel Zegler, who doesn't know PR and doesn't know her audience. But I'll leave you guys with this. Hollywood is an echo chamber. And if you belong to any of the trade newspapers, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, especially Deadline, you're going to see it's an echo chamber. They don't write the news. They're there for PR, and they're there to create the narrative that the leftist bullshit that they puke is okay, and the vast majority of the people don't really exist. Okay? And they can scream about victimhood till they're blue in the face. That's what is really going on here. Okay? And that's why they continue to commit self-inflicted wounds on themselves. That's why Hollywood is in trouble. They abandoned their audience completely. Now, I'm going to add this one more thing. They've been leaning left since the 70s as the older actors and actresses and the movie moguls died or sold or whatever. Robert Redford's and Barbara Streisand's, etc., these older than hippies showed up. They were the original hippies. And, you had weird casting choices that were in complete opposite of what casting choices in Hollywood used to be. Dustin Hoffman, Richard Dreyfuss, great actors, but they're character actors, and casting them as leads, you kind of scratch your head, right? Well, that was the 70s. Beauty, like what Sylvester Stallone created, and Wonder, George Lucas, and Wonder that Steven Spielberg created, that started in the 70s, didn't hit its stride until the 80s, all right, with their movies and actors like Sylvester Stallone, Harrison Ford, Clint Eastwood never went away, all right, etc., etc. Okay, for a minute we had a golden age of Hollywood that got disappeared again in the 90s when nihilism started, and now we're on the other side of the nihilistic thing, and there's still garbage clogging Hollywood's artery, and Snow White is one of them. Okay, sorry for rambling on, but that's what's going on. And Snow White is a self-inflicted wound on several levels. The Disney executives, the writers, casting the lead actress. Okay, this is Steph, signing out. See you around the galaxy.